Okie dokie then.
Welcome to day 2 of Nintendo Treehouse Live at Eden.
And then from Ishihara from TBC. And then also Dana Den from TBCI.
Hey there. So weird.
All right, so let's talk about what the overarching concept of Pokkén Tournament Deluxe.
ちょっとまず、改めてなんですけれども、ポッケントーナメントっていうゲームなんですけど、どんなゲームでしょうか。はい、
どうもこんにちは、株式会社ポケモンの石原です。
Hello there, I'm Ishihara from the Pokemon Company.
ポッケントーナメントはですね、ポケモンの対戦アクションゲームですね。
So the Pokkén Tournament is a really kind of a competitive action game, a fighting game with Pokemon.
おそらくこのライブ見てる方はいやいやもうポッケンのことなら俺もう随分知ってるよっていう人もたくさんいるかもしれません。
So I imagine a lot of you watching this segment probably already know what Pokkén Tournament is, but
でも知らない人のために少しポッケントーナメントどういうものかっていうのを説明したいと思います。
But I do just want to quickly explain the basics of it for the people who haven't played the game before.
これまでポケモンのゲームというと、プレイヤーはポケモンに命令を出して、そしてそのポケモンが行動するというゲームだったと思います。
So in most Pokemon games, obviously you're taking the role of a trainer or something else, giving orders to the Pokemon to carry out different moves.
Awkward going on.
このポッケンはですね、プレイヤー自身がポケモンになって行動して、そして技を繰り出して相手を倒さなければなりません。
But in Pokkén Tournament, the unique thing about this is that you actually take direct control of the Pokemon to unleash moves and defeat your opponents.
なので、その10万ボルトも火炎放射も全部自分が繰り出すということになります。
So moves like Thunderbolt and Flamethrower, you're directly executing these moves.
でこのゲームはバンダイナムコさんがこれまでその格闘ゲームですとか対戦アクションゲーム、そういったものを非常に深く追求してこられた、そういったチームとタッグを組んでやっと実現しました。
And with this game, we obviously teamed up with Bandai Namco, are really just experts in their craft when it comes to fighting games and just kind of 3D action games.
で、僕としては対戦アクションゲームや格闘ゲームをあまり触ったことがない人でも、触っているだけでなんかすごい技が出せるとか自分が強そうに見えるとか、そういうゲームになるように、頑張ってもらいました。
And so what we really focused on with this project is really making the action just look really cool. So even if you're not really an expert at fighting games, you're not really good at them, you can pick this game up and play, and with the very easy control, just unleash these awesome looking moves and really just see something amazing happen on screen.
ですので、私が、初心者の私が触っていても結構僕は上手だぞというふうに感じることができます。
So even myself, I'm not very good at these games, but playing Pokkén, I feel like I'm doing a really good job.
ちょっと具体的にね、新しいところ、そしてスイッチ版の特性みたいなところはぜひ星野さんの方からお話しいただきたいと思います。
So I think we're going to dive into some gameplay, but Mr. Hoshino will really cover some of the differences between the original Pokkén Tournament and this new Pokkén Tournament Deluxe version for Nintendo Switch.
はい、皆さんこんにちは。バンダイナムコスタジオの星野です。
I'm Hoshino from Bandai Namco Studios.
はい、そうですね。スイッチはですね、スイッチ版ではですね、新たにジュナイパーというポケモンを変えまして、全部で21匹のポケモンを使うことができます。
So in Pokkén Tournament Deluxe for the Switch, we actually have some new Pokemon. One of them is brand new called Decidueye, and for a total of 21 playable battle Pokemon.
そうですね。早く画面を見せろっていう人がいると思うので、実際ゲームをプレイしながら皆さんに説明していきたいと思います。
So I think everyone's probably eager to see some gameplay, so I think we're going to dive right into it right now.
Let's do it, yeah.
じゃあ始めましょう。じゃあ、
Alright, let's get started here.
一緒に走ります。
I'm going to play against Suzaki here.
And one thing I want to mention briefly, really quick, we have different shirts here in the middle, and they all look really great. We got Gengar, Suicune, and Charizard.
皆さんそれぞれゲンガー、スイ君、リザードの T シャツを着てて、すごくかっこいいですね。
はい、私のフェイバリットポケモンです。
I think we're each wearing a favorite Pokemon here. 大好きなポケモンです。Yeah, definitely one of my favorite here.
Alright, so we're going to jump into some local battles.
画面
まずはローカルバトルか。
そうですね、ローカルバトルで始めていきたいと思います。
So yeah, we'll definitely start with the local battle mode.
はい、じゃあせっかくですので私はジュナイパーを選びましょう。
Yeah, pick Decidueye.
はい、じゃあ私はピカチュウを選びます。And I'll play Pikachu.
はい、そしてですね、サポートポケモンも新たにニャビーと足場にこのセットを変えました。
And as you can see on screen here, we've got a new set of support Pokemon in Litten and Poplio here.
はい、なのでこのサポートポケモンを選んでいきましょう。
I'm going to choose these for this battle.
はい、じゃあこれでいきたいと思います。
Alright, let's get
そし
started
て、
here.
ステージも新しいステージ
There's
が
also
変
a
わってい
couple
ま
of
す。
new stages in the game for Pokkén Tournament Deluxe.
サリアビーチという
This
ビー
one
チの
right
ス
here.
テージを変えました。
Salia Beach. It's obviously it takes place on a beach.
はい、ポッケンというゲームはですね、まずフィールドフェーズとデュエルフェーズという2つのフェーズがあるゲームになっています。
So for people who haven't played before, Pokkén Tournament actually has two phases in which the fighting takes place. You start out in the field phase, and then there's also another phase called the duel phase.
はい、まず最初にですね、自分が一緒に連れていくこのサポートポケモンの選択になりま
And at
す。
the beginning of the battle, you choose your support Pokemon that'll help you out in battle.
はい、今回はですね、スイッチ版なんで押すボタンで決めることもできます。
So you can also choose, press the button to choose these for the,
はい。
the switch button.
まずフィールドフェーズですが、こうやって自由に動き回ることができま
And
す。
in the field phase here, you can run around the field, the battlefield, in a 360-degree movement.
さあ、こうやってある攻撃を当てるとこれでデュエルフェーズというモードになりまして、
And by-
こうやって左右に動くような従来の格闘ゲームのような画面になります。
And by executing a specific move, you'll leave the field phase and enter what's called the duel phase, which is more of a traditional fighting game, kind of side-by-side view.
はい、じゃあジュナイパーならではのこの技ですね。影抜いて技を使うと相手のサポートポケモンを使えなくすることができます。
The move I just pulled off there with Decidueye, it actually prevents the opponent. It's kind of a debuff that makes it so they can't use their support Pokemon.
また先ほど石原社長からありました通り、ポケモンのこのポッケンっていうのは簡単にポケモンの技を出すことができます。
And in Pokkén Tournament, also with Deluxe, it's very easy to execute really cool moves with the simple controls.
はい、例えばこのジュナイパーなんですけども、その前とポケモンと A ボタンを押すだけでこんな強力な技を出すことができるんです
So
ね。
by just pushing the direction forward on the D-pad and also hitting the A button, you're able to execute awesome-looking moves like you just showed on screen.
はい、そしてサポートポケモンがゲージが溜まっているので使いましょう。
And then you have a support Pokemon
support.
gauge, and once that's filled, you can
Yeah,
use the
Suzuki
support
got
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
So I'm going to have Suzaki here use his support
はい、
Pokemon to
で
show
は
you.
足回りを使います。
I'm going to bring up Poplio,
はい、それまで使うとですね、ジャンプ2回できるようになるんですね。
and with Poplio's kind of buff there, you're able to jump twice. We ran out of time, it looks like.
タイムがちょっとなかったですね。はい。
説明長いんで。
You're taking too long to explain this.
いやでもですね、ちょっとじゃあ本気で戦いながら言ってみましょう
All right, I
か
think we're going to go into a real match here. No holds bar.
丁寧に行き過ぎた。
ね。はい。
Took too much time to explain it there.
足回りは、2回ジャンプができるようになるので、攻撃のタイミングをずらしたり、着地のタイミングをずらしたり、戦力の幅が広がるようになっています。
So with Populio's buff that lets you actually double jump, it really changes the strategy because you can kind of adjust your timing when you land on the ground or also when you execute an airborne move.
はい、ジュナイパーですね、こうやって空中でこうやってとどまることができるんです。空中からこう攻撃したりとか。
And Decidueye, as you can see, it can kind of float in the air there to really kind of delay its movement and unleash attacks in the air.
さあ、そしてポッケンというゲームはですね、このバースト共鳴ゲージが様共鳴バースト状態になることができます。
And then as you can see, there's this burst gauge kind of lighting up right here. But there's these there's a synergy system in the Pokkén Tournament game. When it's filled up, you can use a synergy attack.
じゃあピカチュウの方で共鳴バーストしてみます。
So I'm going to try doing a synergy burst attack with Pikachu.
一定時間すごいパワーアップすることができます。
And we can really power up when you're in this synergy burst mode.
はい、そしてこの最中だけ使える強力なバーストアタックという技があり
You
ま
can use
す。
this powerful super move called a burst attack. Didn't work out though.
なんか防いでいる人がいますけど。
There's someone blocking here.
Alright.
Not letting it show the cool move on screen.
はい。足前ですね、足前使って、
はい
Popular with the buff attack.
はい、こうやってジャンプで相手の攻撃をかわしたりとか、
Double
そんな
jump
ことができた
now.
りしますね。
Easy to evade the opponent's attacks this way.
Stop. 4, 3, 2, 1.
And I love switching back and forth between the phase shifts. It basically just makes the battle so dynamic. It's always changing because the characters actually play differently in each mode.
やっぱフェーズシフト、そのフェーズごとにその遊び方っていうのはやっぱポケモンによって違うんですよね。
そうなんですよ。はい。デュエルフェーズが得意なポケモンだったり、フィールドフェーズが得意なポケモンだったり、多彩なポケモンを用意しています。
Yeah, so there's actually a wide variety of Pokemon. Some are better in the field phase, some are better in the duel phase. So you really have to kind of mix them up.
はい。じゃあそうですね。じゃあ第2戦の方に行きますか。
All right, let's move on to the. I guess we'll do a second battle here. 'Cause
私やりましょうか。
はい
はい。
actually, for that,
じゃあ私と須崎さんで
it's going to be a battle between Ishihara and Suzaki.
ただですね、今回のスイッチ版はですね、まあここにありますように、一人でこうやって携帯モード で、まあ、プレイすることができる。
For the Switch version, you can
こ
play
の
like
携
this.
帯モード
It's
です
just
ね
the portable
はい
mode.
でそれで、今度もし例えば僕が須崎さんと対戦したいということになった時に、ジョイコンをこう抜いてですね、そして須崎さんに渡して1個僕が持って、そしてこのスタンドを立ててですね、そしてまあ、これで、移りますか。
And if we're out and about, we can actually just kind of split the controllers from the Switch, hand them over to each other, and battle pretty much anywhere with just one Switch unit, like I'm just showing right here. Not sure if it's going to show up well on the screen.
っていうふうにまあプレイして、ことができます。つまり、1台で、2人で、まあ対戦ができるという形に。
So in this tabletop mode, you can really just take one Switch and play with pretty much anywhere you want with another player.
Awesome.
で実際私もこれ昨日のリハーサルで相当、
Hey, Darth Vash, you mean like what do I think, or
ジョイコンの小さな中でも
or like what? This is just another day at Treehouse. I'm pretty sure.
So when we were practicing
We're doing it
yesterday,
today and
actually,
tomorrow.
we were playing with these small
Tomorrow I
Joy-Con,
won't be able to cover
and
it that
actually,
much
they're really
because
easy
I
to
do
use
have to
with this
work.
game. It's really easy to execute all of the commands and play the game even with the
But,
smaller controller size.
I know today they're gonna do Treehouse stuff, and then there's 2 tournaments, I
向こう側
believe.
だと我々はちょっと見えないので、ただこの対戦モード
Pokkén
非常
tournament
に
and
まあ
ARMS
スイ
tournament.
ッチ版ではハイライトですので、こういう遊び方でぜひ遊んでいただきた
But
い。
I'm pretty sure
So this is obviously a
there's
big highlight
gonna
of
be
Pokkén
Treehouse
Tournament
stuff
Deluxe on the
tomorrow
Switch.
too.
I wanted
I'm
to show
kind
you
of
guys
hoping
kind
that
of a tabletop mode battle.
they don't
but obviously
announce
it's
too
gonna be kind of
much,
difficult
but
for us to see while
tomorrow
facing the camera here,
I
so we're
guess
gonna
would
switch
be
back
like
to the TV
their
mode.
まあちょっと今日
longest
は
Treehouse
これだ
just
と
because
我
they
々
have
対
the
戦で
most
きない
time
ので
tomorrow.
こちらのモードに戻り
They
ま
don't have
す
any
けど、ぜ
tournaments
ひ、
and
こちらで遊んでいただきたいなと思います。
So yeah, we're gonna go back to the TV mode, but I do hope
They can
everyone gives
focus
this
more on
tabletop mode
stuff.
a try. It's really fun.
But I don't know.
じゃあ私に
I guess potentially like
I'm
You
very
know.
excited to see.
I think they said something like they're gonna show the
Pokkén
Yoshi game
Tournament
today.
here on the Treehouse Live
Pokkén
stage.
I
Deluxe
guess maybe they could show the
実際
Kirby
遊ぶっていう
game.
ところすごく僕はワクワ
Probably
クして
some
る
indie
私 T シャ
games
ツの通
maybe.
り、
Maybe they could show like
So going off the character
ukulele
on my
on the
T-shirt here, I'm gonna
Switch.
choose
They could
Charizard.
show.
今回はルカリオでいい
I don't know. I guess there could be
And I
more
will play
announcements because
Lucario?
technically they do that all the time on Treehouse. But you know, we had those 2 3DS announcements
And one thing you'll see is
yesterday,
the scale of the characters. Charizard is actually going
and
to
I
be much
figured there would
larger
have
than
been
a lot
stuff
of
on the
the
first
other
day. So
Pokemon.
we got the
ポッケンで特徴でもあると
we
思
got
うんですけ
Samus
ど、やっぱ
Returns
大
and
き
we
いポ
got
ケモン、
the
小さいポケモンそれぞれあって、その大きさの違いっていうのははっきりと
Mario
ゲーム画面で
Luigi
わかるんですよね。
remake.
大きくて強いので、
Essentially 2 remakes. But
And Charizard,
はい、
as the size implies, is very powerful.
はい、そうですね。リザードンはパワー
My
タイプの
hopes
ポケモン
for
を出
this
していま
game,
して、
I hope that they continue to do
Charizard is definitely really
like
strong when it
DLC
comes to
for
the close
this.
quarters and
So
mid-quarters combat.
like actual DLC. I hope
じゃあ
they
やりますよ。
just
Here we go.
decide to keep expanding the character
Not sure if I'm
roster
gonna be able to
解
because
放者炎の
it's
魔ですね
Pokemon, so like
Oh, there's flame.
you
fire
literally
punch.
could expand it as much as you want. You've got a lot of
前とポ
characters
ケ
to
モン
select
技だけ
from.
で今の
So
炎あクリアダイブですね
結構なんかやってる感じがします
you
ね
know,。
僕地球投げってやってみた
I
いん
don't
です
see
け
a
ど、
reason why I
execute
couldn't
this
just keep
seismic
星野さん、
updating
地
it.
球投げってどういうボタンで
ウェイト A ボタンだけですね
ウェイト A。
You press up and
あ
A.
素晴ら
Yeah,
しい
no
ね
solid
There you go.
release
Oh, good
dates.
job.
I think I would be
Dynamic
fine
is
just
the
getting the
same.
Reverse
Damage
one.
too.
That one like is kind of the one that I really want the
Okay.
And then
most.
you can levitate a bit. Press A
I
there.
really want those
例えば使う
Metroid
と自分の
ones
体
like
力を削ってしまうんで気を
You
つ
can
けてくだ
execute
さい
that flare blitz move, but it also does a little bit damage to the
really
player.
bad.
すんごい強い感じがする。
As you
And I
can see,
guess
yeah, Charizard
technically I
really
don't
kind of
have
exemplifies the
Samus
strength.
amiibo, so like even though the one I kind of want the most is the squishy Metroid, the Samus amiibo
はい
looks
サポー
great
トポケモンの
and
選択をして
I kind of like it more
Shows us
than
more Pokemon going
Smash
around
Brothers
too here.
Samus. Hey Nello.
はい、今回ですね、このス
How
イ
you
ッチ版なんですけれども、はい、ワイワイバンダイナムコとしてはその60フレームにこだわっています。
Ah, すみません、60フレームプレイ。
はい。
Yeah, so at Bandai Namco, we're really focused on making
But if you guys would like
run
to
really
watch
smoothly
the-
on the Switch version, of course.
I'm gonna be trying to
running at
watch
full
the
60 frames
tournaments
per second here.
today.
はい。
If you would like to watch those together.
据え置きモード
I know
もちろん
D1's gonna be on the mic
60 フ
for
レームで
both
遊
of
ぶことが
them.
できます。
And that also applies to
he's
tabletop
always
modes. Even if you've taken out of the
a
dock,
joy
it's
to
still going to be running at
listen
60 frames and you're battling against each other.
そして
guy the
続
other
きは
day-
ここでバーストアタックですね。
Oh, after the first
Definitely
attack,
like
there's
a-
Suxon is really unleashing on him.
Just have like a background in TV or something.
Oh, man. Hit
He
Mr. Jar with the burst attack.
was I thought he was a great
さあ、ニャビ
commentator.
を使いました。ニャビはヒットポイント
He
が
has such a good
そ
like
して石原社長の方もさあ、ここでバーストアタックが
And then
入る
there's a
か
kind of
like
a
commentator
late move from
voice.
Ishihara burst attack. Oh, it didn't land.
it's funny because like all the Smash Brothers
ちょっと惜しかっ
announcers
たですね、今のは。
Yeah, that
は
was
い
too bad.
and commentators that I know were all like, man, this guy,
But
like,
only
his
one
まだ
voice.
チャンスありますよ。
Still has a chance. No.
はい
Comeback.
はい、まだもう1ラウンドあります。
I did watch the
Final
very end
はい、
of
取っ
the
た方が勝ちになりますね。
the
Whoever wins
Splatoon
this last round is
one,
obviously going to emerge
where
the
the
victor of the
USA
match.
won like right at the very end.
Stakes are high.
Sudden death.
I
right
do
here.
have that recorded. I thought about maybe putting it up.
はい、ゲージが半分溜まってるんで、これはページを通ると結構溜まります。
So, yeah, using these moves with Charizard, the burst gauge goes up really quickly.
さ
I just wasn't sure if Darth knew that they were doing Treehouse over the
あ、さあ、石原
today and
さんの方もう
tomorrow.
一回止まりました。
Ah, now he's got his burst. Synergy
さあ、
burst.
これは
Doing the
Okay,
burst
so
attack.
another
Is it gonna land?
interesting thing.
当たりましたね。
And it hit.
ラストアタック。
Michael
決まるかなこれは
Ansel,
That might be the end of the match.
people were
and there it
asking him
is.
about like, you know, is there potential for
That was
Beyond Good and Evil 2 to come to the
uh,
Switch?
searing
And he said
the burst, special
the
synergy burst attack.
on the
from Darth.
website, like the,
なんか戦隊
the
プレイのような
there
もの
was some hardware listed for like what it was
Yeah,
coming to, and he said
はいごめんなさい
that is not the
でも僕
final
もすごく自分が強い感じがして
listing for the
楽しい
game.
ゲームだなと本当思います
So
Oh, yeah, it was a lot of
there's
fun. I
still a
really
chance
got the
that
feeling that
Beyond
I'm
Good
good
and
at
Evil
this
2
game,
might
you
actually
know,
come to the
maybe
Switch,
perhaps that's
which
not
would
the
be
case.
awesome.
Sweet.
Because
Well, I
there's a lot
want
of
to
people
fight
who are like,
Terry.
oh, like, well,
I
there's
think,
no way, and I'm like, well,
no, clearly
we haven't seen any gameplay.
時間になると思うんですけれども。
どうぞ。
And
はい
and
All right.
it's always funny
Hand the
when
controllers
people
over to
see
you guys.
something they're like, oh, there's no way
That
that
is
could
one
run on the
cool
Switch
thing
when
about this
they
game is
really
you can
have
jump
no
into it
idea
without
like
having a lot of knowledge. I'm not going
what
to say I'm a great
exactly
player in this game,
can run
but
on
the
there
skill
or
ceiling
anything
is
like
also
that.
very
So,
high. I mean,
yeah,
that's
you
kinda
can
good
get really good at this
to
game,
hear.
and we'll actually
I
see
mean,
that in a bit.
Ubisoft
from
of all
some,
companies is
some
one
better
of the
players
ones
than us.
Oh,
But,
that's not
for
a
now,
Japanese
that's been-
developer that's
結構
actually
アクションゲーム
supporting
苦手な人で
Nintendo.
も
So
かっこいいアクションを簡単に出せるんですけども、
I could
まあ
definitely
それ
see
と
it
同時
happening.
にかなり奥も深いので、まあ、この後多分皆さんも見られると思うんですけども、すごい、スキルの、まあ、高いプレイヤーのプレイが多分ちょっと違う感じに見えるんじゃないかなと思います。
そうですね大丈夫ですか
Come on, controller. You can do this.
Let's try this again.
LR.
All right.
P2 controller.
あ、ちょっと大丈夫かな。はい。はい。
Oh, I think we're having a.
ちょっとと
We're gonna reconnect the controller
Little
really
controller
quickly.
problem here.
It got pulled out.
So as we're working on that, can you guys tell us about? So obviously we're playing
Yeah,
locally
they started
here,
doing it a
but
while back,
can you tell us
and
about
it
the
was very
online
successful.
今回ローカル対戦をやってるんですけども、オンラインの部分でも今回スイッ
This
チで何か変わったことあ
combined
りま
with
すか？
their
あそうですね今回はオンラインには
Their
グループ
direct
マッチ
style
とリプレイ機能っていうのを追加しました
approach.
So yeah, and for the online
their
functionality, we actually added a
presentation
new mode
is
called group
kind of the
matches,
perfect, like,
and also
1-2
really in-depth replay
combination.
functionality.
Like it works really, really well.
最大100人まで
because
の
what you
ユーザーが
get
作ること
is
が
you
でき
get
てその中で自由に気軽に対戦したりランキング
you
を
get the
招待することができます
you know, you can control the format
So yeah,
and
the
you
group
have a
matches you can actually
pre-recorded
form
event.
groups
and
of
you
up
can
to
show off the
100
new
players,
stuff, and
in which
then
you guys can just freely
you
set up
can
different group
demo
matches and just
the
play
new
with each
stuff. You
other.
can
またリプレイの方は
You can-
まあ
you can
友達との対戦を見直
have
した
the
り
developers come in
あ
and
とまあ
talk
強い
about
人
the
の対
stuff
戦を見たりっていうこと
here.
ができるようになります
And
And
I
with the
really
replay
think that
mode,
having
it's
the
really
developers
in-depth.
sit
You
down
can
and
kind of
talk
see
about the
replays
game
of your friends' matches and also really
is
high-level
where you
players.
get the most
Kind of watch
interesting
exactly how they
stuff
play.
about it.
Exactly, and that really
You
helps
find out
for
the most
high-level
interesting
players
things.
to
Also,
play
they're
and
the
watch
ones who know how to play it the
what they've
best.
done
So
before, and to really learn and kind of go back
sometimes
to
they
the
even
lab,
play it
research on
themselves.
their
So
own moves.
そうですね
Yeah.
高いスキルを持って
I
い
would
るプレイヤー
say
のこのリプレイを見てやっぱこう勉強するっていうのがやっぱできますよね。
Treehouse
あ
is
とまあその
a
高い
thing that they
スキルの
started
人がまあ
doing
遊び
that
方がいろいろあるので
works really
そ
well.
こがまあグループマッチっていうもので
And also
いろいろ
sometimes they
取り
even
上
throw
げ
in
て
like
遊んでいただければ
surprise
なっていうふうに考えています
announcements like
Yeah, and then you
yesterday.
can also go into the group matches and kind of watch all these different
Metroid
play
2
styles that
remake.
people have in this, a condensed group.
Was definitely a surprise. That didn't get leaked at all or anything. That was a real surprise.
はい。
Sport versus sport.
Hey Pug.
石原さん、このスイッチタイトル、この最初の特権ということについて、はい、どうでしょうかね。
So, Mr. Ishihara, I just want to ask you, like, how do you feel having Pokkén Tournament Deluxe be the first Pokemon game on the Switch?
まあポッケンってまあそもそも言い出しっぺが私だったんですよね
So with Pokkén Tournament, actually, I was the one who really brought up the idea of the game.
まあ、バンダイナムコさんに行ってまあ、ポケモンの格闘ゲーム作りたいっていうので原田さんにねお話をしたのが最初だったんですけれども
So yeah, at the beginning, we actually went over to Bandai Namco. We said we want to make a.
I'm really
we wanna have
hoping
you guys
that,
make
like,
a Pokemon fighting game. We were talking to Mr. Harada.
Because I've heard a lot of people
Tekken series
saying
fan.
like, oh, why didn't they
That was how this project
why didn't they
began.
announce Smash Brothers the same way that they did Metroid or Pokemon? Like, why didn't they just say that it's in development?
And
that
then,
kind of thing.
you know, after we had that discussion, there was a person at Bandai Namco who just knows
I think
about
that it
Pokemon
is in
really better than
development.
anyone.
それが星野さん。
And that's Mr. Hoshino right here.
星野さんはね、ポケモンのあらゆるゲームに精通してるんですね。
And
I
Mr.
think
Hoshino,
that it
really
is in
just for this fighting
development.
game, but he knows everything about pretty much all of the Pokemon games.
だからカードゲームももちろんそうですし、もちろんビデオゲーム。
So he plays all the video games, the trading card game. He's very good at all of
何で
that.
も
Oh, sorry about
私
that.
より詳しい。
So he probably knows more about Pokemon than even I do.
ポケモン GO も恋キングもですね
And also,
ポケモン GO は今レベルいくつでしたっ
レベル今34なんですけ
level
ど
34 in Pokemon Go has to play Jump Magikarp. Magikarp Jump.
けマジカープジャンプってね、跳ねる恋キングね、私ランクは52まで行っていて、でみんながすごいすごいって自慢してたんですけど、で星野さんにランク聞いたら今いくつ
I'm really hoping
ちょっとね、
that
っていうぐらいちょっとやり込んで
So especially with Magikarp Jump, I mean, I was level
that
50.
the Dragon Ball Z game would come to Switch.
I asked Hoshino, like, oh, so how are you doing in the game? He
And
said he was already on his 120th, I guess 120th level of the Magikarp, so I don't know.
My
I think
only
he's just
hope
kinda
is that,
crazy about
like,
Pokemon games.
because you have like
そのポケモン
you have other Namco Bandai games like on Switch
任せれば絶対ゲームができると。
So I,
and stuff, that there's a chance that might happen. And I actually don't think that it's an issue of like, oh, like it couldn't run it or whatever.
They'd create an awesome game.
はい私のポケモンは
I think the only issue they would have is trying to get it to maybe maintain 60 frames per second on the go. That would probably be the toughest part, but I think docked, you could get 1080p 60 frames fine in that game. I don't see any reason like why. And I'm pretty sure that engine can run fine on the Switch. I think, the only issue they would have is maybe dock, or maybe when it's in portable mode. That might be the part where they would struggle, but they just would have to optimize it really well.
はいそうですね
Because obviously you need it to be 60 frames.
はいこの後にちょっと見せようかなと思うんですけどもオフラインのモードもですね結構充実してるんですよ実際ちょっとオフラインで今回変えたとことか
So actually, just gonna have Mr. Suzaki really talk about some of the other features we've added to.
But if you think about the other fighting games and stuff, like you look at all of them and stuff, and
It's not necessarily single player content. But we have this,
you know,
mode
ARMS,
called Team
this
Battles,
game,
3匹のポケモンでチームを組んで
there's a couple other fighting games that have been announced.
And
Like
with, the team battles, you
I
each
think,
player chooses 3 Pokemon, and they battle. Like,
they've all been able to
like that.
maintain
It's kind
60
of a 3-on-3
frames in portable mode,
まあ元々
and that's all it needs. It just needs to be able to do 60 frames in portable, and then you're good.
なんかチームバトルっていうものをアレンジして落とし込んだ形になります。
And so we heard from fans they really wanted to use the Pokemon a lot more, use more of them in a match, and so we kind of tried to answer that with this 3-on-3 match that lets you choose multiple Pokemon.
The reaction doesn't seem to be watchable on your channel. What do you mean? What do you mean? There should be a reaction to the Spider-Man thing.
And one of the other things really
I'm pretty sure I made that its own
portraying
video.
Pokemon in a more realistic sense that you
I
really
have the
feel
full
like
Sony
Pokemon.
conference up as well.
スイッチでもこのリアルなこのポケモンたちの躍動感っていうのは
But I thought it looked fine. It looks like the best Spider-Man game
Dynamic and
that we've
stuff,
ever
with,
had.
you know, 60 frame per
So it
second
isn't
on
available.
on the Nintendo Switch here.
Really?
そうですねあと鈴木は何かこの
Why is that?
剣で重視してることって何かあります
So Mr. Suzak, is there anything that you really focused on? You had something
should
in mind
be.
when you were making this game?
はい、そうですね。まあ、ポケモンさんもガチの格闘ゲーマーではないので、その辺もう見て楽しいというところも、重要視して作りました。
So we wanted to make this less of a really really hardcore only fighting game. So that's why we focused on making the action just look really cool. So even if you're just spectating, you don't really know about fighting games, you'll be able to really enjoy.
I'm watching it right now on my different account.
結構ガチだと思いますけど。
I don't know. I got the impression this was a really hardcore fighting game.
で
Actually.
もないです。
That's weird.
勝ちましたねはい今ここ選んでもらってるステージなんですけれどもはいここレジルーインステージになりましてはい
But
ギガスレジアイ
So this is actually we're just a new stage here. It's called the Reggie Ruins. Kind of focusing all the
weird.
Regigigas. Reggie Pokemon.
yeah, the only things that ended up not being watchable
結構
were
ハイゲームですよこの
I couldn't get EA's press conference up because they blocked it. I couldn't get Microsoft's press conference up because BioWare's new game apparently gets blocked everywhere.
So it might be a lot of fun for Pokemon fans to kind of peek around and find out what's in there.
So I would have had to cut that out in order to show it. But if you want to watch my full reactions to everything, I've highlighted them. I still need to highlight the Nintendo stuff, but I have a lot of that up on my channel. I put up the Treehouse live reaction as well. That all can go up on YouTube. Nintendo has no problem with that. But apparently EA is the ones that has problem with you advertising their new game that looks amazing and you want to show people, but they're like, nope, you can't do that. So I see how it is, EA.
So I think we want to give that team battle 3-on-3 mode that Mr. Sasaki just explained a try.
And I'm really excited for this mode. Being a Pokemon fan, definitely.
The Spider-Man game, I think, like I said, looks fine. You know, there's a bunch of QTE stuff. But there's so much action going on anyways that it's fine that you're just hitting a button. To me, it looks like they took the fighting style kind of from like the Arkham games and did it with Spider-Man. Spider-Man's of course way faster than Batman, so kind of feels more fluid, less like heavy and clunky. The stuff with the two web slingers, I think, are in each trigger. So you have like the way that Spider-Man interacts with his environments when he's in fights and stuff is very good. That looks that looks great, because that's pretty much how Spider-Man does fight. Like, he very much uses his environment to his advantage. So I would say that's probably one of the things they like nailed the best. Yeah. So like I said, looks like the best Spider-Man game we've ever had. And there were a few that were alright, but there weren't any that I would say were like fantastic, like that. So I would say, yeah, looks good. I wish it was coming this year, but I have plenty of stuff to play this year, so it's not too big of a deal. It just gives me more time to play other stuff. So there's plenty of fantastic games coming the rest of the year. So that's fine. I honestly think it would have done better this year if it had come out this year, because there's a movie this year too. But you know, you'd rather have them have a finished, polished game than rush it. Watch the spotlight reaction, pretty much your own reaction.
So as you can see with Darkrai, you can actually kind of split and set one of your kind of shadows.
Well, I think it's one of those things where just to get the confirmation is a bigger deal than I think a lot of people actually think. Because obviously due to the Switch's portable nature, like, it had a much better chance than any other console to ever get a Pokemon game. But they legit, like, there's a reason that he said core RPG. He said that so that you wouldn't think that it's going to be a Pokemon Stadium game or a Pokemon spin-off. Legit, the future of Pokemon is going to be on the console. That's a really big deal because it's never happened before. Like, that's also a very big deal because Pokemon right now is hot. It is legit on the same level as Mario and Mario Kart and Zelda when it comes to Call of Duty. I mean, you, like, literally name like anything that sells a lot right now, and it's on the exact same level and exceeds most of them. It will sell a lot of units because there are a lot of people who will buy everything Pokemon. So I know a lot of them. I know a lot of people who literally just do Pokemon-related things when it comes to content creation, and I know every single one of them is going to be forced, even if they don't want to buy the console, because that is what they do on the internet, is they talk about Pokemon stuff or play Pokemon stuff. And in turn, all their fans will do the exact same thing. That is the reason that's a big deal. That is the reason why, yeah, I know they didn't show anything. Obviously they didn't show anything. It is a bigger deal than people think. I think it's a bigger deal than people think. I don't think it was even obvious, actually. Now that I mean, when I think of it, like, legit, a real Pokemon game's never come to a Nintendo console. It's always been a portable thing. It has always been. And even though the Switch is portable, it is still a console. We're gonna get our first, like, HD mainline Pokemon game, so that's also a big deal because the visual upgrade will be huge. So.
そうですね、ポケモンの相性というか、その強い弱いっていうのは多分あると思うので、そういう戦略を考えながらという感じで選んでいくんですよね。そうですね。はい。
It also guarantees that they're going to sell a lot of Switches to people who probably would have never bought one. Because, like I said, there are some people that the only thing they like on Nintendo-related stuff is Pokemon. That's it. Which I think is shocking in a way. I think they're missing out on a lot of stuff, but everybody has their own tastes, so
I guess it definitely got promoted from support.
You can like and dislike whatever you like, whatever you want to, really.
The thing about Krogan is it can really evade the opponent easily, run around.
My only hope is that, you know, if they buy the console to play that they'll find something else they like. Because it's a shame to own something just for one thing, but it happens all the time. There are literally people who would buy, like, a PlayStation just to play Kingdom Hearts, which is crazy because there's so many other games that are good. But, that's what happens. You know what I think is crazy? That Metroid Prime is being developed, and that's not the project that Retro Studios is working on. But I guess the more I think about it, and the more, like, this is why it's not actually crazy, because that team that developed Metroid Prime games, that was a long time ago. That's not the team at Retro is not the same team they used to be. The guy who's in charge of the project has worked on every Metroid Prime game. He has, but he did it with the help of Retro Studios in the past. So we still don't know what Retro Studios is working on, and I think that's crazy that we still don't know what Retro Studios is working on. It has been so long since we last heard from them. I can't believe it. Maybe they are working on another Donkey Kong game. Which I guess at this point would be fine since we've already gotten a Metroid Prime 4 announced. So, and I think that their Donkey Kong games are amazing. So maybe they are working on Donkey Kong. I really hope if they are that we see the Kremlins again, because I always like them more than. Oh, he's got a Swords Dance up. See, I've not actually seen like Scissor's character. Well, I've seen like trailers of these things, and that's about it. So Scissor can put like a Swords Dance buff up on himself. It's pretty cool. I just really want them to keep expanding the roster in this game. That would be so good. There's so many unique and interesting like Pokemon designs and movesets and stuff that they could continue to make really cool characters. I think the ones they've already made are really cool.
Right, well, I think that is actually enough time. That's all we have time for. We just saw some play, but we're actually going to jump down to the show floor, and you're going to see the Pokkén Tournament Deluxe Invitational for 2017. And we're going to see some top-level play. It's going to be awesome. Then we'll be back after that with Yoshi, so please stick around.
Oh, see, this the problem is that it's in the middle. So I can't really like stop her and start her. I guess I could stop it like after the Pokkén thing. Alright, so we get to hear D1. D1's gonna be on the mic. Oh, and oh, what's her name? Why can't I remember her name?
And welcome to the 2017 Pokkén Tournament
Dude,
Deluxe
this guy
and
has just a
Invitational.
great
We've got a packed
TV
house here.
voice.
Excited to see eight
Listen to
YouTube
him.
and Twitch personalities battle it out in a 4-team Waseda style format.
Can you guys hear them okay? Because I do actually want you to hear the commentary.
Welcome in. I'm Pokkén, alongside with our two analysts, Vicky Kitty and
Vicky
D1.
Kitty, that's her name.
Vicky, as we get set to see these core
Both
gameplay
really
mechanics
heavily
that
involved in the
Twitch
Smash
personalities
Brothers
obviously have
scene,
mastered.
especially
Our
Smash
YouTube
4.
personalities might try to grasp.
Um,
What are they focusing in on?
I believe she plays a lot of, I want to say Corn, maybe?
Starting out for Pokkén Tournament, please be aware what field phase and dual phase is. As we see our contestants battle out for Pokkén Tournament Deluxe, you guys will see the different changes and how the battling will continue between field phase and dual phase.
Metroid Prime Form is
And
definitely
D1, there are some
getting Breath of
differences
the
in
Wild
this version,
treatment.
obviously.
I have no
Here's why you
idea,
call it
maybe.
Deluxe.
I
What do we
mean, it'd be
expect to
awesome
see
if
from the Pokkén
we got
Tournament?
like kind of an open
Edition that we were
world
familiar
esque
with on Wii U. What are the
Metroid. That would
differences
be
with
kind
this
of
deluxe
wild.
edition?
True, there are definitely a lot of
Honestly.
people thinking, why should I pick up the Switch version of the game if it came out on Wii U? Well, let
Be
me
cool
tell
if you could
something.
switch
There's
between like
Krogan,
first person and
Darkrai,
like third
Scizor,
person
and
mode. That'd be
Empoleon
awesome too.
characters that were available
As
in
cool as
arcade
like
in
the
Japan
first person
are now
is
widely
for
coming
Metroid.
stateside. And not only that, we also
Be
have
so
the
cool.
Sejuani.
Because I almost feel like they
Also,
might do
there's
that
split
just
screen
because
mode, which allows people to be able to play locally
they like
at
to have their
home.
characters
And
out in
not only
front.
split screen, but you could also have two player on one screen playing. So one character in the foreground.
I wonder.
and one
I
in the
almost
back,
wonder how
two
early in
people out.
development it is
And
that they
the
couldn't even
last thing I
show a
wanted to
trailer or
mention
anything
is
like
we
that.
also
So
have two new support
really
Pokemon,
good
Pokkén
chance that
and
we might not see
Pokkén.
that game till
Lots of
2019.
exciting new things
Which
in this
I
Pokkén
mean,
Tournament
I wouldn't
Deluxe
be
edition
mad
that
either,
are
because like
4 teams and 8 competitors will be taking
just the
place
fact
in.
that it's being
And
made
Vicky,
is,
you look
I think, the
at
most
sort of how to
important
understand
thing,
some of
and
the core mechanics, as we mentioned. It's
that
sort
was
of
really all they had to
being
say
able to
was,
not
"Hey,
only
we're making
master
this
and
game."
control your Pokemon,
By
but
the
then
way.
read and react to what the
I
other
feel like they
opponent is
couldn't have just
Right,
announced
so how the game normally works with mechanic-wise is a rock, paper,
Metroid
scissors
2
game.
remake,
You want to
though.
always be one step
I
ahead
feel
of
like
your
that was a
opponent
good
and understand
combination
what
announcement.
leads what. So, you know, you always have to be one step ahead and understand if you do manage to win that trade, you do manage
Oh
to
yeah,
get
exactly.
a lot out of it.
It's like I
that deals
I
extra damage.
Let's
I'm
take a
glad they
look at
took
our
so long to
bracket
work
and
on
take
Zelda
you through
because
some of the
it
action
turned
we
out to
have
be a really good
going
game.
on this
It's a lot
morning.
different than the other
Match
Zelda
1, you're gonna
games, but
see. Here's how things
it
break
stands
down.
on its own as a
Best 2 out
really
of 3 rounds, that's going to win you
awesome
a game.
game.
Best 2 out of 3 games, that's
and
going to win you a
I'm
match, which means you can
extremely
advance in
excited for the
bracket. You
DLC. I
see
gotta
the matchups here. We'll
continue
have
my
the YouTube
playthrough, and
personalities
then
battle
we'll
it
have
out
more and
first,
more stuff to
then the
do.
Twitch personalities. If there
And
is a
they
third
didn't
game
really
necessary to decide a match, then you
show
will have
us
the
what the
winner
last
from the
DLC is
YouTube
gonna be for that.
personalities
Like they
taking on the winner
hinted
of the Twitch
that maybe
personalities
we're
to
gonna
see
like
who
play as Zelda
advances
as champions.
in the match. So it's very exciting, and D1 to see obviously these Twitch personalities very, very seasoned at this game, particularly against these YouTube personalities that they're still trying to grasp maybe some of the fundamentals here.
Oh, indeed. And let's not even forget about some of the pros that we have here as well. Teaming up
The
with
pros.
Twitch and YouTube personalities. It's going to be really interesting seeing how they face off, because some of the pros that we have in-house come from different fighting game communities. So I think we're going to see some really interesting things here today.
We're ready for our first match, so please welcome to the stage Matt Pat from Game Theory and his wife Stephanie Patrick as they get set to take center stage in our first matchup of the morning. Please give them a warm round of applause. And now it's interesting because we have the husband-wife duo going up. After they go on, our Twitch personalities, Ken and Alistair, will then battle it out. And as we mentioned, if it's necessary, a third game, you have the winner from the YouTube personalities taking on the winner of the Twitch personalities.
Oh
As we
God,
said,
Matt
Stephanie
Pat.
Patrick, wife of Matt Pat. Throwing them in the fire right off the bat here, Vicky.
I just hope whoever loses gets to compensate and
Poor
do
guy.
the dishes later that night, because there are going to be some hands being thrown.
So you have
D1, these
people
personalities are gonna select
that
their
play the
character prior to
game,
the
or
match,
at least
so
play
they're
fighting
obviously gonna
games,
know
because
who's
that's
going
Ken.
with
I
who,
actually
but
don't know
when
if he
you look
plays
at getting a chance to
Pokkén,
get
but
familiarized with this,
Ken
what are some
was
of those
at one
core
time one
things
of the
that people
best
that are first getting introduced to
Smash Brothers Melee players in the
When it comes
world.
to a Pokkén tournament, first and foremost, not only do you have to understand what kind of character you're going into, but the support.
At least at the
Pokemon
time,
that
one of the
can
best
help
Marth
also complement
mains
your character.
to
Depending on
ever
which support
exist
Pokemon you're using,
in
you can actually have the upper hand in a match that maybe wasn't in your favor
in
at
Melee.
first.
When you talk about the support Pokemon, there's
Won
offensive and defensive
many
types of support Pokemon. How interesting is it
championship
that a lot of these
titles.
fighters will try to find that support Pokemon that either contrasts
Especially
their
playing
playstyle or
Marth
supports
in
it.
Melee.
Oh, indeed.
But I actually
There's
don't
some
know
Pokemon
how
that
much he
actually
plays
allow
Pokkén.
players
I
that are really into rush down,
really
find a
don't
way to
know
get through
the
projectile
pro
zones,
Pokkén players
while
as
other
well as I know
Pokemon
like
can
Smash
actually just
Brothers
clear a path for those people
players.
that maybe get pressured
Hey
way too much.
Destro,
And
what's
here
up?
we already have it. Scizor, one of my favorite Pokemon, taking the stage.
I'm really
Two of the
interested
new
in
Pokemon
Scizor.
you can
I
catch in
mean, I
Pokkén
just love
Tournament
the
Deluxe on Switch as that
Pokemon
comes
in
out.
general,
Matt
but I'm really
Pat
interested in how it
versus Stephanie Pat.
plays
Scizor versus
in the
Empoleon.
game
Let's get
because
this started off
I have
in
not
field
actually
phase
seen
right
too
now.
much footage of it.
Scizor gonna unleash a couple projectiles right here, get some damage on Empoleon. Meanwhile, Empoleon doing a fine job of blocking Vicky, and being able to master that block is critical.
It is very critical, and as we saw right there, already a phase change. This is where you're going to see the most damage being done. This is dual phase. You want to rack up as much damage as possible, and immediately with another phase shift right there.
Matt Pat as Empoleon putting some pressure on Stephanie Pat, who's going to be Scizor. Meanwhile, Scizor doing a fine job of zoning out Empoleon early on here, D1.
But you already see Empoleon just using Aqua Jet to get inside. Empoleon, not quite the fastest character, but if he's able to use Aqua Jet, he has 4 different options out of it that allows him to get in. And already right there, taking the first round over Scizor.
Empoleon with the grab to secure that one. That means Matt Pat gets the victory. If Matt wins one more round, he's victorious. And there's something about marriage advice. You can either be victorious or happy. So I'll let you think about that one, Matt, as you get set for the next round here. Now, as we get set, we saw with Scizor, Stephanie Pat really struggling for the most part to get a lot of big hits on Empoleon. Empoleon doing a fine job of blocking Vicky.
Although
Is Stephanie Patrick a pro player, or is she a, well, I mean, a considered a competitive player, or is she a YouTube personality?
We're not seeing that right now. We're seeing a completely different game compared to the last game we were in.
Anyone know?
Full synergy gauge for both players right now, and how important is that synergy gauge, D1, as far as the timing of when you want to use it?
So with the synergy gauge, you can actually use it to get some pressure off of you if you're blocking. You can get some recoverable health, and also
YouTube personality,
access to
okay.
a burst
So they're
attack, which will
probably
be able to turn the
fighting
tides
against
of a
each
match.
other first,
Empoleon with the grab, Matt Pat with the early lead,
maybe?
26
Or are they like
37
two
on that
separate
Omar.
tournaments?
Scizor trying to get some damage done in field phase. Meanwhile, going to go ahead and shift it right here. Stephanie Patrick trying to hang on.
Oh,
for
it's
a third
Stephanie
round
Patrick
in
is
this game between the two that
is
are the husband
his
and wife.
girlfriend.
Meanwhile, Empoleon with yet another grab
Or his
for
wife,
Stephanie
right?
unable to negate those grabs.
I just couldn't remember what her name was.
She's activating her burst mode right now. That first one does a lot of damage, exactly 223 to be exact. He needs to watch out with only 51 health. Oh, but unfortunately misses just by a tad bit.
Here comes the support Pokemon with Latia. Stephanie Pat trying to give Matt Pat a to-do list and get to the third round here. However, Empoleon into the synergy burst, and Stephanie Pat with the victory, and we're gonna have.
I didn't
third
see her.
round
Like, I
to
didn't
decide
see.
this game between the two from Game Theory, and what we saw was Stephanie Pat getting into that synergy
Like, didn't
burst,
see her
being able to
before
apply some
I
pressure on
checked it
Empoleon
out.
right
So.
there.
And Matt Pat did activate his synergy burst as well, but was unable to take advantage of that opportunity too.
Third and final round in this game between Matt Pat and Stephanie Pat, our two YouTube personalities. A couple of early hits here for Empoleon. And when you look at the support Pokemon D1, how can they play a huge role in this third and final round? If we're looking
I actually heard that the support Pokemon, like the new support Pokemon,
a move that is able to get the opponent off of you,
Poplio
and
and
now looking at
Litten are
Stephanie
kind of
Patrick,
wild. Like they give you like a lot of
if I'm
stuff.
not mistaken,
I think like one gives you like a double jump and a
Pokemon,
buff
making
or
it
something
really
like that.
difficult for them to move around. So here it is, Scizor already having a tough time trying to zone, as you can see, and Empoleon is always getting inside, using Scizor using the Swords Dance, which is great for actually making it difficult for your opponents to get inside, but as you can see, it covers the sides better than the front.
Huge advantage right now for Matt Pat as Empoleon enters synergy gauge. This could be enough to close the match here. However, Scizor not ready to give it up. Gets it knocked back into that support Pokemon right there, and now it's close. Stephanie Pat with the light advantage, but no! Matt Pat gonna go ahead and get the victory over Stephanie Pat. Impressive performance by Empoleon, and we saw Scizor, Stephanie Pat, try to get some damage late in that one, try to turn things around, but what we saw from Empoleon and Matt Pat the entire time, able to sort of stay in that mid-zone area and keep Scizor nice and uncomfortable.
That is where Empoleon does the most damage, actually. We did mention that earlier, and what we also saw...
What controller are they using?
Support Pokemon was able to help Stephanie follow up with more attacks and keep that distance.
Are they using the Pokemon or the Pokkén pad? Because I heard that actually works on the Switch. I never got one of those.
Type of play where you really want to get up in the opponent's face and apply some pressure, but we saw
it looks like it because I'm pretty sure that controller is white.
That's what made it difficult. Yeah, man. The Ice Beam right there from Empoleon is such a great zoning tool, and right afterwards, you're able to slide right in.
Yeah, no.
Apply that little bit of pressure and get up in
I'm pretty sure on the thing it just said that like gives them both. But to see how those supports work. They both picked Litten, so Litten must be good.
Early in this one, Scizor getting the attack here on Mewtwo, applying some early pressure. Mewtwo, however, able to knock back Scizor. An early advantage right now for Alistair. The nice combo up against the wall, going to knock Scizor back. And you look at the type of player Mewtwo is. Mewtwo, once again, kind of one of those all-around.
I figured somebody would be playing Mewtwo.
One of the strongest characters in the game, has great zoning
because
tool,
he's
and
very
that
freaking good.
And another thing to look at is both of these players have the same support Pokemon right there with Litten. Litten, if your HP is rather low, you're actually able to dish out more damage. It is a projectile, and right there, first game going to
Alistair getting the victory right there with Mewtwo. Very impressive. And listen, if you don't have a Master Ball against Mewtwo, it's going to be really tough sometimes. So very impressive performance right there. Can Ken force a third round, or else the victory is going to go this match to Matt Pat and Alistair. Let's pick this one up early on again.
Oh, they're teamed up. Okay, that makes sense. That's a good way to do it, I guess. You wouldn't want the somebody who plays the game a lot to build up against someone who doesn't, because then it wouldn't be much of a thing to watch. But I'm actually going to take a wild guess and say Ken doesn't actually play this game that much. I've never seen him play the game before, so...
There you have it. Alistair making quick work of Ken, getting the 2 victories right there. And so that is game, set, and match for the combination of Matt.
We don't actually know how good Scizor is, but you know Mewtwo's very good.
We'll let Stephanie and Matt go ahead and work that one out a little bit later. I'm sure they'll get a chance to practice more Pokkén Tournament Deluxe. And D1, you look at Mewtwo in that last match, and it was really interesting to see the combination of the projectiles to keep Scizor at bay. Scizor never really had an opportunity to get up close in Mewtwo's face and apply some of those combos and pressure.
Yeah, Mewtwo has this great tool in the cycle cut where he's able to dash in and out. And
D1 does know this game really well.
Quite deceptively fast as well. When you look at
he
it,
plays, yeah, his favorite character is Gengar.
So I think with that zoning tool that Mewtwo has, it's very difficult sometimes for people to deal with, especially if your back's to the corner.
Mewtwo also has one of the best homing attacks in the game, so it can be really difficult to try to jump around him to probably attack from behind, because he's so it's so large that it can actually be counted as an anti-air. So you have to look out for that as well when you're trying to approach a character like Mewtwo.
Well, we saw in that match between Alistair and Ken, Alistair using Mewtwo, Ken going with Scizor, that Mewtwo was just doing a fine job of zoning out Scizor. And when you get those all-around type players that can play either close or from afar, they're really trying to read and react on the type of player that they are facing. And Scizor being a rush-down type player, Mewtwo can just sit back and use its wide array of projectiles, D1, to keep Scizor at bay. And it was never really even close at any moment in this one.
Yeah, the entire time you just saw Alistair zone in space right around Ken, trying to force him to approach, and he limited his options really well because he threw projectiles not only from the ground but also the sky, and it really looked like Ken just didn't know what was coming.
Let's take a look at the updated bracket as we see the team of Alistair and Matt Pat advance. They will be taking on the winners of our next match. We'll get a chance to introduce them here shortly. And so that's looking like a pretty powerful combination right there.
I've watched Nairo play the game before, but obviously his game is Smash 4. He's very good. In particular, Zero Suit Samus in Smash 4. Justin Wong plays like every single fighting game.
You have to understand,
he tries out every single fighting game, but he is much more of a traditional fighting game player than I would say any of the other, because a lot of the,
you have to understand, okay,
or at least
I
two of the
took
other
a step
ones
back,
are
maybe I
very
need to
much
take a step
Smash
back and hold
players.
shield, but you don't want to hold shield for too long, because that gets us up to a grab.
Let's get set for our next match here. It's going to be between JD Witherspoon and Nairo's going to be Team 3.
I'm
Meanwhile,
pretty
Team 4, Black
sure-
Nerd Comedy and Justin Wong. So our first match would be JD Witherspoon taking on Black Nerd Comedy. Meanwhile, waiting for the next match will be Nairo and Justin Wong. Welcome them up to the stage.
Yeah, like
This is gonna
he's
be
much
exciting
more
here,
of
T1.
a,
We've got obviously some very seasoned fighting players here that have done a fantastic job.
this
here.
guy, I mean,
They've got
he's
some
a
good
very,
proficiency with Pokkén Tournament Deluxe.
he's very
However,
good.
our YouTube
He is
personalities
definitely
we
the
saw
best,
in this
I would say,
situation,
Pokkén
Matt
player
Stephanie
here.
Patrick,
Is my
as
guess.
each round was advancing, they were almost picking up more of the mechanics of this
He's
game.
probably
You can tell that when it comes to Pokkén Tournament, it is easy to
probably
pick
the
up,
favorite to
but
win.
As far as mastering it, that's the hard part.
Certainly is, and there's a lot of mechanics, and I had a chance to chat with Alistair prior to this, and he was talking about the importance of being able to do that counter attack dash cancel. A lot of times when you get a Pokemon like Scizor that's getting zoned out by Mewtwo, how do you use that counter attack dash cancel to sometimes
Pokkén
make
is,
your
you know,
opponent
it's
get them
made
in
by a
position
lot of the
to
same
take
people who
advantage.
worked on
So as long
Tekken
as you know
games,
your
but
opponent isn't using a move that is able to pierce the
it's way
counterattack,
different,
you're able to
obviously,
build synergy, which
because
is
you
your
have the
meter that
phases.
allows you to gain burst, and also you get an opportunity. You don't take any damage when you go into the counterattack, and if you go for the dash cancel, you have quick access to any of your options in neutral.
I mean,
after
Justin
making
Wong,
sure to basically absorb the attack.
I've literally seen him like
Also close in a lot of
try
space when you counterattack dash cancel.
so many
You're
fighting
applying a
games.
lot more
Like
pressure
he
and
literally
taking
he tries
more
a ton
against
of
the
them.
opponent as well.
We're seeing a lot of
He was,
these
I think he was
Pokemon
actually
that you will get
invited to the
introduced
first
to in
Pokkén
Tournament
like
Deluxe being
tournament
used
that
right
they
now.
had.
Right now we're going to have a matchup of Darkrai and Krogunk, and
It was
Darkrai,
like
one
the
of those
first
Pokemon T1
Invitational.
that's going to be a zoner. Meanwhile, Krogunk, more so all around, so this is going to be interesting to see the playstyle that Krogunk's going to do, because you know Darkrai's going to want to keep Krogunk at bay.
But I've seen him
Krogunk
play
is a
Marvel
very
and,
silly character coming into
you
Pokkén
know, as
Tournament
well,
Deluxe.
Street
If you
Fighter.
press his special button, the A button, he has so many different random moves that come out. You don't quite know what's going to come at you. And
I'm
as far as
sure that
Darkrai is
you'll
concerned,
see
he's a
him
character that
play
specializes in traps.
Fighter
If he's
Z.
able to catch you
That
with
that
Dark
game,
Void,
oh my
you go
god!
into Nightmare
I've already
mode.
seen some
Once
people
you're in
like
Nightmare mode,
get gameplay
things get
footage
way
from
more difficult for
Gohan's
Pikachu to
like
run.
level
Yes,
5
Zap Bears
is
as well.
just
A
it's the
legendary
thing where he
mythical creature of
it does
the
so
dark
much
taking on
damage,
a ninja frog,
and
basically. We've got Krogunk going on against
it's the-
Darkrai. That's
it's
what we
from,
love about Pokkén Tournament Deluxe. All
when
these Pokemon
Gohan
here
like
getting a chance,
blasts
even
Cell,
playing field to take on each
and
other. Still right now, nobody with an early
and
advantage.
Goku
You
is
see
like
JD Witherspoon
kind of like
with
in the background, like push,
Darkrai.
like
Meanwhile,
acting like
Black
he's
Nerd
like
going with Krogunk, and there you go, the support
doing
Pokemon
the
coming in doing
Kamehameha
some
with him.
damage.
Krogunk actually trying to find his way in, as D1 did
Uh,
mention
Mew
earlier, this
versus
character
Mewtwo,
is a very
who's better
RNG
stat-wise? I don't actually
and
know
button, he could get
who has
positive
better base
or
stats.
negative stats. That would be terrible for him to get that negative stat around the end when it would really make a
I
difference
don't
within
know
the
who,
match.
but
JD
that yeah, it does so
Witherspoon,
much
though,
damage.
getting
It's crazy.
knocked back by Black Nerd
I-
Comedy and Krogunk, however, able to
I don't
respond
know.
right
Does
there.
anybody know? Happen to know? I'm not sure.
It's
You
getting
might have to
right
just
there.
look it
However,
up
has the
to see who
support
has the better
ready to
base
go whenever
stats.
he wants, D1.
Oh, absolutely.
You
Reshiram
see
dishes out a decent amount of damage,
Mewtwo
and right
used
there
way
you
more.
can
Also,
see
Mewtwo has
Darkrai
2
having a tough time
Megas,
dealing with this Krogunk. You know, the Krogunk
which I
already
would say gives it the
activating burst mode. What's
advantage.
gonna happen here?
I've seen like Mewtwo used way more competitively than Mew.
Right here. No, won't Darkrai able to block
But I
that.
don't really know
Able
too
to
much
do a
about
fine
like
job of reading Krogunk. However, time is
who
up.
is actually that
Gotta
good in
operate a little bit
Ubers,
quicker.
because that's
That
where he
first
would
victory
be
in that
anyways.
round is gonna go ahead and go to Black Nerd
I'm sure I know
Comedy
plenty
and
of people who
Krogunk.
could
Very
tell you though.
impressive.
I just
JD
don't play
Witherspoon and
competitive
Darkrai.
Pokemon
Hey,
that
listen, we
much
got another
myself,
round, JD.
but
You got a chance to bounce back here. And so, Vicky, you look at
about,
the
I mean, I
choice
could
of
tell
when
you
to
that in
deploy
this
support
game,
Pokemon.
obviously there's no
What's
Mew, but
typically
like
go through the
Mewtwo's
mind of
very
players
good.
as far as when
Shadow
to
Mewtwo,
if it's an
they kind of
offensive
took out
they're gonna
the
read the opponent.
glitch
If it's defensive,
that
it's waiting for the
there's
right time.
Chris and
I
Kristen.
think it's like
They
two
kind of took out
different things.
the
I feel like it could be depending on
the glitch
player's
that made
preference,
him
what they feel like they
very
lack
good
as a
because
player
he
and what their
damages
Pokemon
himself.
lacks in the
But
neutral. So if their Pokemon
I actually don't know if they banned him from like tournaments or anything like that, but Mewtwo is very, very good. I like to see that there's some people using the newer characters, like trying them out.
What's interesting, D1, is we're seeing Krogunk really succeed right now, keeping some distance from Darkrai and zoning Darkrai out.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised seeing how Darkrai, being the character that's great at zoning, is instead being zoned out here by Krogunk. The bombs being placed on the field.
They might actually have like the same number of total base stats. I know legendaries have a lot.
This might do it. No, misses, however. Meanwhile, Krogunk up against the wall. Darkrai trying to apply some pressure. Here comes the burst move, though. And
he got him.
This is going to be fantastic. What do we have here?
We have the Infinite Eclipse dishing out 198 damage. This should possibly be the end.
You can sit back and watch the credits roll right there as JD Witherspoon and Darkrai bounce back to take the next round and force a third round between our two YouTube personalities, D1.
Oh, and right now we actually have Black Nerd Copy and
JD Witherspoon talking smack, pointing heads behind the monitor. Wow. Wow. I like it. No love lost between these two as we get to our third and final round. Let's pick things up early on here. Krogunk getting some pressure on Darkrai, trying to zone Darkrai out.
Krogunk can drop bombs.
Now.
That's pretty cool.
Knockback right there. You can't hold that shield and that block forever.
You can't, and you see Krogunk is actually planting the bombs on the opposite side of
So Krogunk can poison you and drop bombs.
It could be really
like from he throws the projectiles and then there's a bomb that lands on the field.
Krogunk gonna activate the synergy burst right now. That's gonna obviously do some more damage. Meanwhile, Darkrai with the buff of its own. Here comes the synergy burst.
Man, he just missed it.
Misses once again, and that is huge for Darkrai because Darkrai having a chance to build a synergy burst and also has that Cresselia as the support Pokemon ready to go. You're gonna deploy it right now, D1.
Already getting
Let's see, is he gonna give him enough?
Look at that 408 looking quite healthy.
Krogunk getting in the face of Darkrai. Darkrai trying to get the grab right there, misses. Fine blocking right there. Nice little combo by Darkrai. JD Witherspoon versus Black Nerd Comedy. The best of three right here. It comes down to this. Meanwhile, Krogunk getting a major hit, doing some nice damage on Darkrai.
The problem is that he's probably gonna.
It's incredible how much damage
he's probably gonna get that burst.
Has, but Krogunk still holding his own. He could still definitely do this. He's applying as much pressure as he possibly can.
Just has to not get hit by the burst.
To rack all the damage as possible there.
D1, only 10 seconds left in this one. You've got the advantage for Darkrai, and Darkrai gonna go ahead and get the knockout. Wow. Black Nerd Comedy thrown off by the confidence and the smack talk of JD Witherspoon. You see the swagger from JD Witherspoon as well too, getting that victory over Black Nerd Comedy. So now we hand it over to our Twitch personalities. We're gonna have Nairo taking on Justin Wong. It's going to be very exciting here, and what we saw, Darkrai.
I actually don't know. I think Nairo played a lot of Mewtwo, I want to say.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, I saw Nairo, he's definitely giving JD some tips, and after JD talked some smack to Black Nerd Comedy, I don't know what happened, but his confidence shot through the roof, and that third round, he was actually moving. You saw he was just swinging left and right, throwing out those projectiles, and that was it. Black Nerd Comedy losing the first game.
Exciting matchup here. We've got Mewtwo versus Weavile. As we mentioned, Mewtwo, one of those standard types, as we like to say, can operate from afar, zone you out, and get up in your face. Meanwhile, Weavile certainly want to get up close and apply some pressure right in your mug.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know who's playing who, Nairo will be playing Mewtwo while Justin Wong with Weavile.
Justin Wong and Weavile getting the first couple initial hits, going to go ahead and shift the phase here. Meanwhile, Mewtwo going to get some pressure and knock back Weavile right here. And nice air combo in the jungle right there.
That's right. Justin Wong has played Weavile since like the beginning. I remember watching him at like the Invitational, like the initial one, playing Weavile. And I do remember Nairo playing the most Mewtwo from like the amount of time I saw him play on stream.
D1, talk a little bit about low stance, high stance. We're seeing some of that being deployed right now as these two players are really up close and personal trying to read each other.
And the cool thing about low stance is that you're able to actually low profile, depending on the character that you're using, certain moves. If there's a move that goes rather high, you can duck underneath and get a free opportunity to counterattack.
Nairo and Mewtwo getting knocked back. Weavile going to go ahead and enter that synergy burst mode.
Just has to not get
got 30 seconds left in this match. Has Mewtwo on the ropes. Weavile trying to apply some pressure, and that will do it. Able to burst through the block right there, and now the pressure cooker heats up a little bit. One more victory in this round, and you've got JD Witherspoon and Nairo that will advance.
And something to keep into consideration at the very end there, when Weavile was using their burst mode, burst for Weavile was actually a short-range counter, so if Mewtwo would have thrown an attack, that burst could immediately activate and got through that counter, just like he does for every other burst.
Absolutely right. Right now, both fighters in each other's face, applying some pressure. Mewtwo with a nice grab, going to do some damage right there. Early advantage Mewtwo, 57 seconds left, plenty of time. Still going to go ahead and try to push Weavile up against the edge of the stage here and just
switch the phase. Oh, he tried to go for the grab.
And not only all that amazing damage that Nairo could apply, but you have to be afraid because right now going into the third round we have Justin Wong with full burst.
Oh, he does have full burst.
Nairo, meanwhile, with Mewtwo able to get the victory.
He's gonna activate it.
So let's go to our third and final.
I imagine he would try and activate it as quickly as possible.
Very exciting right here. Meanwhile, Mewtwo gonna go ahead, try to get the aerial on Weavile. Misses right there, but how about the juggle right here, D1?
He's getting comboed.
Opening up with that hyper beam and also getting a combo into the fire punch, ice punch, and thunder punch. How is Justin Wong going to be able to bring it back?
Nairo, Justin Wong.
Yeah, he needs to just get damage on him. He needs to activate his burst.
Mewtwo once again applying the pressure on Weavile.
He needs to use his burst. Actually, shoot.
Cresselia to get some of that health back. Meanwhile, burst mode activated for Weavile and Justin Wong. You gotta lay it all out on the line at this point.
He's gonna have to just. Oh, there it is. Did he get him? I think he got. No, he blocked it. All right, it's over. He can't come back now. It's too much. Too much. Yeah.
From the brink, very impressive. So Nairo and JD Witherspoon will advance. Hats off to Black Nerd Comedy and Justin Wong for a hard-fought battle. And really, we saw the Mewtwo. We talked about being standard in that matchup against Scizor. The previous match, we saw Mewtwo really win the distance, but now
Mewtwo Dittos
operated right in the face of Weavile and applied a lot of pressure up against the wall.
Well, I'm telling you right now is it looks like teams with Mewtwo are excelling. It's a little scary.
Those Mewtwo teams certainly doing a very good job. And as we mentioned, Mewtwo, one of those standard players, as they like to say, that can really work both as a zoner or a rush type Pokemon. And especially in this match, we saw Mewtwo really taking advantage, Vicky, of really countering some of the attacks from Weavile and then doing a fine job of getting into some combos and some juggles.
Yeah, there was times too where Justin Wong was able to close in that gap and rack up a lot of damage on Nairo when he would win the rock paper scissors train, but unfortunately it just was not enough, and Nairo was just able to be on top of that RPS train all the time.
Let's take a look at the replay. And D1, tell me what you're seeing here as we roll this replay between Mewtwo and Weavile.
Okay, so right there you see Justin Wong trying to use Frogadier to apply some pressure, which worked out really well in his favor. And right here, as Justin Wong went for the burst attack, observe Nairo actually putting up his shield. I thought he didn't have shield up. Goes right around Weavile and uses that amazing homing attack just to get the wall splat right there. And that dive kick putting Justin Wong in such a tough situation. Nairo, I wasn't quite sure if he was going to be able to finish it, but right there, those two light attacks was all he needed.
I mean, he's, at least in Project M, he was one of the best characters.
High-low, we talked about that high and low stance also. How proficient do you have to be at
he's
that
a little,
to really keep your opponent
he's a little too light in Smash 4 to be that good. He dies off the top so easily, it's unfortunate. I love him. I love him.
They're able to avoid low attacks. While other characters, they have actually different attributes when it comes to going to high stance and low stance. So
but,
you have to do a lot of studying when it comes to
it's
this
unfortunate.
to get on top of your opponent.
How light they made him as light, like as light as Jigglypuff, which
high stance do grant them extra bonuses.
I guess that's what they thought was the best for balance, but he dies so quickly.
And Empoleon, when you actually use Empoleon's lower stance, he could duck under some moves. It's kind of incredible because he's pretty tall.
Let's take a look at the updated bracket as we get set for our finals here. Now, the finals would be a best 3 out of 5 games to determine this match. And right now, you see Matt, Pat, and Alistair getting set to take on JD, Witherspoon, and Nairo. So, of course, we're most likely going to see a couple of Mewtwo's here in this match. But let's get to the sort of analysis of JD and Matt Pat. Matt Pat started off strong. Stephanie Pat getting a victory. That went to 3 rounds as well. But then JD Witherspoon really finding that confidence up against Black Nerd Comedy and getting the victory. So let's bring them out here and get set for our championship final match. We've got Matt Pat and JD Witherspoon facing off against each other, and Alistair versus Nairo. Matt Pat and Alistair on a team, and then Nairo and JD Witherspoon trying to bring home the championship for themselves. So get set to welcome them out to the stage. And really, as these YouTube personalities face off, we talk about how it's almost like watching your child walk, because they're starting to learn more and more as the game goes on. But when you're getting introduced to this, do you think it's better to try and
unfortunately,
zone sometimes, or do you think it's better to just get up close?
Unfortunately, in Melee, it was very.
Our YouTube personalities might not be able to read and counter quite as well as the Twitch personalities can.
It's very hard to be good. I also love the fact that he was in Melee, but it took a long time to
mix it up and stay in close or zone. That's when things get difficult.
To get
Well,
good
let's
with
welcome
him,
up our fighters to the stage. Obviously, talking about some extra strategy in the back. You've got
and there were not that many top-level players that
JD Witherspoon and
played him.
Nairo. Our first match will be Matt Pat taking on JD Witherspoon. JD Witherspoon already bumping those gums, talking all that trash right now to Matt Pat. Let's see if Matt Pat has got a game theory to win this one right here. And as we saw Matt Pat, he really excelled with the Empoleon and getting some pressure and some grabs. However, JD Witherspoon, his previous match, using a fine job of connecting with some of those synergy bursts, Vicky.
Yeah, what Matt Pack is going to want to look out for mostly is, although Empoleon is very slow, his moves do make up for that. He is allowed a lot of movement options out of his attacks, actually. So when he throws out that Ice Beam, not only can he slide in it, you have the option to do nothing out of it. But when you are in the mid-air and you press X, you kind of create an aerial effect of ice that you could also use to kind of sidestep, slide away from your opponent as well.
Well, both Matt and JD are going to go with different Pokemon potentially for this match. It's going to be interesting to see who they choose. Do they go with what they had, or do they maybe go with something different here, D1, to throw their opponent off guard and not let them scout?
Yeah, right now I'm actually waiting to see. I'm not trying to guess anything here, but it looks like JD Witherspoon, since he went with Darkrai before, I'm guessing he probably might see it
There
again.
it is.
There it is.
Darkrai versus Empoleon. And Vicky, we were playing the other day, and Empoleon, the burst move out of synergy mode, there's something special about that one.
His burst is actually kind of incredible because of the fact you can't shield it. It is a command grab. So the only way to counter around his burst is by jumping over it.
And that's going to certainly take some tough timing right there. We've got Darkrai versus Empoleon. Darkrai being played by JD Witherspoon. Matt Pat going to go ahead and go with Empoleon right now. Some early pressure being applied by JD Witherspoon, trying to zone Empoleon. Maybe some coaching provided by Nairo. We'll see. Meanwhile, Alistair with some advice from Matt Pat. Empoleon getting in, getting a couple early hits on Darkrai. And already we see Empoleon getting in the face of Darkrai and applying some pressure here, D1.
So the main thing you saw there is that at first, JD Witherspoon was doing an impressive job of zoning with the Dark Bolts. But what happened was, finally, we saw Matt Pat opt to go with the Ice Beam to get inside and use that slide.
And you can't hear them right now, but JD Witherspoon is just talking all sorts of mess to Matt Pat right now, trying to throw him off his game. And speaking of throw, gets the grab right there, and that's going to help sort of turn the tide. No synergy burst quite yet. However, you see the support Pokemon ready to go for Matt Pat. Darkrai trying to wait for that Cresselia to be ready to call at any moment's notice. We're going to go ahead and shift phases here, and Empoleon still trying to get that early pressure on Darkrai in its face, up against the wall here, Vicky.
Already applying so much pressure against the wall, and this is where a lot of damage is going to be, but immediately with that grab, he's going to get the KO, and that's going to be game one to Empoleon.
And D1, Matt Pat, how about the combination of putting some pressure against your opponent in the corner on the wall? Your opponent then is going to be pretty aggressive to try and bounce back, most likely, or try to block to withstand all those attacks. Then you go in with the throw.
Which is why you saw Matt Pat actually successful right there in the last round. One thing about Empoleon too, he has some moves that can actually go through your counterattack, so it can be very scary defending against Empoleon. You want to keep him outside, which is why you see JD just trying to run away in zone.
Matt Pat took the first round. If he gets this one, that'll be a one-game victory for his team in this 3 out of 5 final championship. Empoleon, meanwhile, all that pressure up against the wall, D1. We see it time and time again.
He just keeps going in with the Aqua Jet. Finally, JD puts up the shield and gets grabbed for it.
I don't hear a whole lot of talking coming from JD at this point. Facing a huge deficit, 553 to 57. Going to go ahead and deploy that synergy burst. You've got to release the Hoons at this point and try to fight back against Matt Pat. Matt Pat does have a synergy burst. Reshiram right here, the support Pokemon being cold, but that's blocked by Empoleon and Matt Pat. Darkrai going to try with that burst move, but it doesn't connect, D1.
It just looked like JD Witherspoon trying to use everything in his arsenal to bring it back, but unfortunately, Matt Pat So get over it.
Matt Pat
I mean, I was
silencing
really
JD
sad
with
that
an impressive victory in that second round.
that-
Wasn't even close there, Vicky.
It looked like JD was actually trying to use his burst to go through any
I was
moves
sad that
Matt Pat was
Mewtwo
gonna
wasn't in
throw at
Brawl.
him, but unfortunately it was just too late.
That's why I really
And,
like
he
Project
kinda
M, because
missed
Mewtwo
that
was in there.
too early and unfortunately missing, kind of being crucial to the matchup.
So it's a best 3 out of 5 with the games in this championship match. So we're going to go ahead and see Matt Pat and JD Witherspoon face off again. So this will be for the second game. You've got 1 game point victory already for Matt Pat and Alistair. Matt Pat trying to get a second one. That means Alistair can come in and be the clinching point potentially. Let's see if JD Witherspoon learned anything from that last matchup. We saw Empoleon D1 really apply a lot of pressure in the face of Darkrai, now where Darkrai really wants to operate, and found himself pinned up against that wall for most of the match.
Yep, again, we see JD Witherspoon trying his best to zone, but once Empoleon gets inside, it looks like all that little chip damage that
What
he was
were
able
your
to get
thoughts
doesn't
on
quite
the
matter, so
showcase?
he's gonna have to do a better job of
I actually
keeping that wall up.
That grab
do
was
have
negated
my
by Empoleon, and once again,
full
just
reaction
going
to the
work the
showcase,
combo and the pressure up against the wall.
and
However,
then
Darkrai able to counter
a bunch
that
of
right
different
there,
things
and
up
finally getting some relief here, D1.
Actually,
on YouTube.
the fact that he was
If
attacking
if you'd
more
like to see, like, because you know I can say I was excited all I want, but like
Vicky,
if you want to actually see how excited I was,
out of the zone, it's
I'd
just too much
recommend watching
Empoleon
it.
in your face at this point.
It's so
Just because
in your face, and it really does work. There was not a counter to be seen inside.
it's hard to like
With the victory, and you know
put
there's
into
some questions
words
for JD when you
how
start to see
excited
the
I
palms
was,
turn to
but
the
if
sky and the
you
shoulders shrug at this point. Nairo trying to step up, get some coaching for JD.
I was
Your
so
boy's
loud
struggling
that, like,
right
I
now.
was
At this
too
point,
loud
however, there's still a couple more
for the
rounds
microphone.
that can be played. Don't count out Darkrai, but
Like,
what we're
I
seeing here,
if
D1,
people were listening
Empoleon,
on the
one of
headphones,
those
they
rush
probably
Pokemon
got
living
their
in that rush down zone as
eardrums
opposed to
blown out.
Darkrai, the zoner, not really getting a lot of breathing room between
And
him
it's one of those
Empoleon.
things where, like,
Just tell you, Alistair
it's not like they
actually
showed
really loves
anything.
Empoleon. So to have Alistair
Literally
helping
all they
out
did
Matt
was
Pat,
tell us that they're
that's a
working on
big
it.
boon to him right there. And look at it already, Matt Pat trying to maintain that
But-
health lead, going for the grab, but this time JD Witherspoon being a little more aggressive,
Me-
going right through
like
That was
as a
really smart of
Metroid
JD,
fan,
actually
like,
recognizing that he wanted to go for the grab when he held shield just slightly longer than he
you know,
should,
the
and he
past
immediately threw an
couple
attack to
years
counter.
haven't really been the best
again,
for
going straight
Metroid
back into
fans.
dual
It's
phase. Only 10 HP left.
I
JD Witherspoon
personally
goes into the burst. I don't know if he's gonna be
am
able
not
to
one of
connect
those
it.
people that
Looking for
looks
an
at
opportunity to confirm. Is this a chance?
you know, the last game that was made
Yes, gonna grab Empoleon.
and say,
This is gonna do a lot
you
of
know,
damage
I don't
here,
look at
D1.
Federation Force and say like, oh, this is terrible. Why are you doing this? Blah blah blah, all that stuff. I don't actually think it's that bad of a game either. But I feel like I'm very rational when it comes to that kind of stuff. I would say the reason that so many people were upset with that is because it wasn't announced alongside of something else. Which is why almost the other reason I think maybe they said something about Metroid Prime 4 without having a trailer or anything is because
And here comes the talking once again, turning off the mute button once he finally wins another round here. And you love the confidence. It ain't over. You're absolutely right. We've seen comebacks before. Meanwhile, Matt Pat's still pretty confident. That was one that, you know, he had such a sizable lead.
is
right there,
because
D1.
if they had just announced today, if all they announced was Metroid 2 remake and Samus Returns, like, some people would be like, oh, is this really all we're getting? A 3DS game? We really want a console Metroid. I almost that's almost the way that I look at it. Like, maybe they announced that not just to be like, oh, we have more games coming in 2018, which now we currently know. I want to say we currently know 3 2018 games because we don't know if Pokemon. We don't know when Pokemon's coming, and we don't really know when Metroid Prime's coming. Those 2 games could come in 2019. We're not really sure. So we currently know 3 Switch games. We know the Yoshi, the Kirby, and the Fire Emblem. And, you know, if I was... I'm going to go ahead and say that Smash Brothers is probably coming next year, too. So, they haven't announced it, but I'm going to... That's my guess. So yeah, I don't think it was just to be like, hey, we have this in the future. I think it was, well, it probably would be a good idea to say that we're working on Metroid Prime so people don't complain when we announce the Metroid 2 remake, which, by the way, I think looks good. or the Metroid 2 remake. Like, I think that game looks fine and great, and I'm gonna love it. But and I'm glad that we finally got a Metroid game on 3DS before the system goes away, because to be honest, after next year there probably won't be many 3DS games. There probably won't be any more 3DS games after next year. So because we know Pokemon is moving, we know Fire Emblem and Pokemon are both moving to Switch, so that will be their new home. And you know, if Animal Crossing gets announced for Switch, then we'll know that Animal Crossing is moving there too. Which a lot, at least recently, those have all been handheld kind of exclusives in a way. Not that, you know, I mean, obviously there were Animal Crossing games for consoles before, but like, I feel like Animal Crossing's popularity blew up on the 3DS with New, so. And Happy Home Design.
Darkrai is a huge early advantage for MatPat, 571 to 72. Darkrai just trying to find some space, but no. Empoleon not even giving Darkrai a chance to tie his shoes, and very impressive victory by MatPat here, Vicky.
And as we saw at the end,
they said core RPG. That it is the mainline Pokemon game. There's no question. That's where Pokemon's going. Like, that's how I'm taking it. There's no other way to look at it. There would have been no other reason to say the word core besides to be like, that's where Pokemon's going. After these two games for 3DS, that's pretty much it. That's my guess. Like, I really do think, I honestly don't think that they would also do 4 remakes. Gen 4 remakes as well. I honestly think that this is probably it for, which is fine. We've had a lot of 3DS games. Like, it's honestly, I'm cool with it. I don't think they need to keep putting out more, because they're just all gonna look the same at this point. Like, the games look fine, but they're just all gonna look the same. Nothing else is gonna change about them. Nothing else is gonna change. No. Blood Blossom, I am telling you right now, the whole point of them saying that was to make it clear that it's not going to be a Coliseum. It's not going to be a simulation game. Even though some of those games got much better as RPGs, it is... that is what they meant. That is clearly what they meant. And everybody needs to accept that now and be okay with it, because it's a good thing. It's what we've always wanted. You guys want to play these games in 1080p. You don't want them struggling like they continuously do on the 3DS in 240p. You, or anybody else who wants to get into streaming or recording themselves play Pokemon, can do so much more easily. You don't have to go send your 3DS to Japan to get a capture card that's probably going to break eventually installed into your 3DS so that you can actually share your recordings and stuff. You can just get a regular capture card and hook it up to it, and then boom. The paid online is not something that anybody needs to worry about. It's going to be so cheap that you'll be able to afford it easily. It will be less than the price of a game for the entire year. Don't worry about that. It's not going to be Xbox Live. It's not going to be PSN. It's going to be much cheaper than that, and it will be like $20 or something that for the whole year. Like, it's, you pay $5 already for Pokemon Bank, so you're paying 4 times that amount to just have the online features. It's not that bad. $20 a year, like, that's nothing compared. I mean, that's, like I said, half the price of a 3DS game. It's You'll be fine. And that is not until, that is not for a long time. By that time, I'm going to say 2019, so you have plenty of time to raise the money.
Just furious right now. Let's see if that applies to the playstyle of Mewtwo. Meanwhile, Alistair is so cool, calm, and composed. Here comes the support Pokemon from
I'm not even kidding. I'm pretty sure it's like $20 a year is what they said. That's so cheap. Like, it's...
This man does not even need to look at the screen. When I grow up, I want to be just like Alistair. As we just see right here, Alistair taking it over Nairo.
Alistair with the KO, gonna go ahead and take that first game point. Alistair needs to win 2 more games, and that will be the championship.
I don't know.
Matt Pat and Alistair. Alistair, my goodness, if you didn't believe before that Alistair was sitting on top of the throne of this community, I think that was proof right there, D1.
Yeah, this guy coming out of NorCal, super
just go to McDonald's instead of Chick-fil-A.
well established in the Pokkén
That's what I would say.
Suicune is nothing to mess with.
Do that a few times, and then you'll have your $20. Get the great value brand of whatever you're buying instead of the or the Kroger or Giant Eagle brands, and you'll have that $20 in no time.
One of his best tools in field phase is that homing attack, but it looked like Alistair already had an answer for that. And here it is, Nairo trying to see if he can do some counter attack. He manages to get the Pierce with that Hyper Beam.
Nairo and the Pierce with the Hyper Beam going for the grab. That gets negated.
I actually still can't believe that Mario is coming out in October. I know it's like the end of October, but I thought for sure there was no way that it would come before November. October is like a big old. I think there's a lot of stuff coming out in October for like a bunch of different kinds of games.
Nairo showing some signs of life in this second game. However, Suicune knocking back Mewtwo. Suicune hasn't really operated in that zone.
I'm actually not like too upset now that like Sony doesn't have too much coming like near the end of the year, because Nintendo has like a shit ton of stuff that I can play. Yeah, literally, like, you know, I was talking about like my reactions to the stuff. If you watch my reaction to that, when he possesses the T-Rex, I like literally cannot stop laughing. I was losing my mind laughing at that. A lot of people were like, Monster Hunter at the very beginning of that trailer, but I saw the T-Rex and I was like, that's a regular looking T-Rex. There's no way that's Monster Hunter. The dinosaurs in Monster Hunter, or the monsters in Monster Hunter, are not like regular dinosaurs. They all look really weird. There's always something weird about each one. I was like, yeah, this isn't Monster Hunter. I'm like, there wouldn't be a third Monster Hunter game announced. There's already 2 other ones. Well, did you see in the Treehouse Live later that day, they walked up to the T-Rex when it was sleeping, and it had like a hat on. It had this different hat on it, so. And it was just laying there sleeping.
What's interesting is when you try to do that chip damage to end the round, you will stay alive at this point. Mewtwo with the grab and the throw up against the wall, though. Suicune just trying to find that last little hit. Mewtwo regenerating a little bit of health right there, but not enough as Suicune gets the hit on Mewtwo. That'll be the second game point for Alistair. 1 more game point, and they will claim this 2017 Pokkén Tournament Deluxe Invitational Championship.
As you saw around the end there, he was actually canceling his counter, which is why he kept drifting back, trying to space himself properly so that way if Nairo ever committed to an action, he was always right there to commit after that.
And if you notice right there, Nairo fought his hardest to be able to get inside of the zoning from Alistair. The moment Alistair was able to find just one slight opening, he dashed right underneath and went to the other side. He's quite content with just zoning.
And D1, what do you make about the support Pokemon choice here for Nairo and Mewtwo? Meanwhile, we've seen Suicune.
Yeah, the worlds look really interesting.
This is a character that shoots out the water gun, right? And it allows people to apply some pressure. It fires off once, there's a slight gap, and it fires again, allowing you to possibly sneak in the grab sometimes.
Yep. That remake looks great. Speaking of the 3DS capture card, I have one, of course. So I will be streaming my full playthrough of that remake for sure. And it's almost like we almost should have guessed it, just because they seem to act pretty quickly on that fan-made AM2R Metroid 2 remake that was made, that was really good. The guy who made it did a great job with it. But it's almost like we should have guessed that it was happening, because they acted very quickly on it when it came out. Like, you know, kind of shutting it down. You know, it was probably because they were making their own version of the game. The melee counters look so cool. Like Samus uppercut shit, and then grabs it and throws it around. I was like, that's a pretty cool addition. And I heard that the 3D on it looks really, really good, which a lot of 3DS games recently haven't really been doing. But you know, I'm glad that we got a Metroid game on there before the system is kind of, you know, before they're kind of finished making 3DS games, because I felt, you know, that's that two-screen thing, so you have the map on the bottom, and you can like mark spots on it and stuff. It's ooh, Nairo coming back. It's good to see. It's good to see that. And I know there will be a lot of people that it will be their first 2D Metroid, because there's a lot of people who haven't played Super Metroid, or haven't played, you know, really any of the 2D Metroids, or Zero Mission, which is really good too, and there's a lot of
Synergy burst capable right now for Suicune. However, Suicune gonna counter right there, Vicky.
Yes, because Mewtwo's burst is actually a short-range grab. He was able to take advantage of that situation and turn it around without getting any extra damage from that burst, activating his own burst for an answer towards that.
Here comes Suicune with its burst move, gonna miss though. Mewtwo does a fine job blocking it. Mewtwo with the corner up against the wall against Alistair in that Suicune, and the grab on Suicune.
Wow, Nairo's bringing it back.
Very impressive 2 victories. That game point goes to Nairo and Mewtwo, and just when it looked like Alistair and Suicune were going to run away with it, you had Alistair.
I actually don't remember when they said Monster Hunter Stories is coming, but I'm excited about that too, because I like turn-based RPGs, like more traditional, and I love Monster Hunter, so I was very interested to check that out. Really like roam around like riding the monster in the overworld. Speaking of Monster Hunter spin-offs, apparently Monster Hunter World is a spin-off. It's not a mainline Monster Hunter game. Which I think is interesting. It obviously looks really great. You know, the models and everything have been overhauled. We don't know how it's gonna play exactly, just because we haven't seen like how they interact like online with everybody else. But apparently it is like it's listed as a spin-off. And I almost wonder if that's the case, then maybe we won't see it on Switch. Because it appears like, at least, you know, recently, more the mainline games have kind of like been exclusive in a way to 3DS since they left the PSP. And it's like, you know, clearly Capcom understands that like they have a big audience on there, because the 3DS is a portable platform. In Japan, they sell way better in Japan. Jeez, Nairo is really bringing this back. Yeah. That's what I said. Like, it was it moved to PSP and then eventually came to 3DS, and then it's been on there for a long time. And that is actually where the series has grown. I would say sales-wise, Monster Hunter does way better. It's done way better because of the large install base of the 3DS than it's ever done before in its entire history. Because back before that, like back when it was on the PlayStation, I mean, barely anybody in the West that I knew ever mentioned it or played it at all. It was very much a Japanese game. It was popular over there, but over here, I mean, it was hard to find anybody that played it. But really, once it came to the 3DS, that's when the popularity shot up like crazy. And so the Switch feels like a good place. Obviously, they're porting Double Cross. We haven't got a localization announcement for that yet. That comes out in Japan later this year. I feel like... Okay, so here's the thing. Either World is also going to get announced for the Switch, or if that's not the case, then the next Monster Hunter mainline game is coming to the Switch. That's my guess. Because I feel like they understand that once games like Splatoon start coming out, and they get more Switches out in the wild, that is where they're going to want to have their Monster Hunter games. Oh my god. I can't believe this. Like, Nairo has completely come back.
Able to force yet another game. It looks like we're about to go into the final match, if I'm not mistaken. So here's what's interesting. If Nairo takes the victory, yes, Nairo will get the game point. Nairo versus MatPat in the third match, which could be very interesting. Nothing against MatPat, but he might not be the caliber of player that Alice.
I know, that's the thing. Like, if Nairo can win this game, then he's probably gonna win the tournament. Like, I mean, he will win the tournament if he can win this game. He has to win this game, but. Well, here's the thing. The reason I think it might be a spin-off, and this is like, I don't know what to say. I feel like this game might be more of a MMO style Monster Hunter. Kind of like that one that's from Korea. Oh.
Going to keep Mewtwo at bay, and that is one round victory right here in this decisive game.
Yeah, it's kind of. I feel like there's a chance that it might be like Monster Hunter Online, and if that is the case, then it's definitely a spin-off. Like, there's no question, because there'll be lots of microtransactions and I don't know. I hope it's not. But right now it's listed as a spinoff. I mean, it doesn't have. It feels like it is. I just kind of get this feeling that it is. I don't know. I feel like, why not just call it Monster Hunter 5? If it's. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm excited either way. I like Monster Hunter. I will play all the Monster Hunter games. I probably would play it on PC. So hopefully the PC version doesn't come too much later after the console ones. Chicken Rex? Monster. I mean, a lot of the monsters are weird. I mean, think about all the weird monsters in Monster Hunter games. I like the cover, that was cool. It's kind of like MGS. I don't know how the monster didn't see him. He like covers head and he's like, camo.
No participation medals given out here for our runner-ups. There's only one champion here in this tournament. You saw Alistair with that Suicune. How impressive was it for Nairo and the Mewtwo to really battle back because we thought Alistair was going to run away this one with Suicune.
Nairo definitely had a lot of mix-ups when it came to his offense. There were times where if he was getting attacked, he would use the side strike, and other times.
I mean, like I said, there's blobby monsters and like, have you seen like the Giganox? Gross looking things. And just a lot of weird designs for Monster Hunter. Yeah, for a second there I thought it was gonna fly. I was like, what the hell? Is it about to... Rathalos came in and messed it up. Bad.
Mr. Hoshino and Mr. Suzaki to present the awards to our champions of the 2017.
You know, the other thing, I feel like with a lot of Monster Hunter games, they show off like a main monster, right? You know? Or they'll show off like the main couple monsters, or they'll show off something that looks like really intimidating. They didn't do that with this. Did you notice that? They just they didn't really focus on a like big monster who's gonna be like important to the story, or some monster that's hiding somewhere or something. They didn't do that, which I also thought was a little bit weird because they always do that when they show off a new Monster Hunter. So I thought it was interesting.
Congratulations.
Yay!
Thank you once again. Now the fun doesn't stop here though. We have one more exhibition match. We have the developers from Bandai Namco Studios, Mr. Hoshino and Mr. Suzaki. They're going to take on Matt, Pat, and Alistair in one exhibition round. So please, Mr. Hoshino, Mr. Suzaki, please step up to the stand here. Matt, Pat, Alistair, please take your side of the screen. Mr. Hoshino, Mr. Suzaki, please come
Yeah, but like every time they show off a new Monster Hunter, they always show off like the boss monsters. Like they always tease it. They always do, and they did not do that. And it was weird. I was like, oh, here comes the big bad, and then they didn't do it, and I was like, whoa, that was different for a Monster Hunter reveal. So I don't know. That was the other thing that made me kind of think, well, maybe there's not that kind of focus. Maybe there isn't a single player focus. Maybe it is way more multiplayer focused than it is like more MMO-y and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, I hope not. But, you know, probably no loading screens. I've always wanted them to get rid of those, and so that'll be good. And we will see what happens with it. You see when it actually comes and that kind of stuff. So
they probably have a couple tricks up their sleeve.
But I've gotten so used to playing Monster Hunter wherever I want to that not seeing it listed for the Switch was a real bummer too. Like I just like, oh, like Monster Hunter is a game that you literally play forever and ever, and if I could keep playing that wherever I want to, I would play it so much more. And so if it doesn't get announced for Switch, I will be sad in that way, because it's almost like, honestly, I would probably buy the game twice. I probably would buy it for like PC and Switch. But I feel, because there are so many games, like I'm gonna buy Rocket League again, clearly, for the Switch. I'm gonna buy this game, I mean technically this game again. I've already bought Mario Kart technically twice. I'll buy Smash Brothers again. You know, I'll buy all the Wii U deluxe remakes or whatever.
But with another phase shift, he's applying so much pressure right now. Immediately using Litten with his low HP, dealing all
Jeez, Litten did so much freaking damage. Jeez. Oh, I thought that was like a double knockout for a sec.
Sort of make Matt Pat feel good about himself. Let him know, yeah, kid, I understand you're playing this game, but I developed this thing.
My hands are in my face right now, dude. I can't. I just can't.
Let's get set for the next round here between Empoleon, selected by Matt Pat, and Krogunk being used by Mr.
Krogunk looks
Suzaki.
really
Mr.
cool.
Suzaki from Bandai Namco Studios knows everything
Krogunk
you need
looks
to
so
know
cool,
about this game right here.
honestly.
Able to jump over the top of Empoleon, and what we're seeing from Krogunk D1 is a fine job of zoning out.
Okay, so Popplio, it looks like, is giving you the double jump.
Interestingly enough,
Yeah.
he's using that poison stick. He can't kill the opponent. Oh my gosh!
Did you see that movement?
He's just chilling on the floor as well. Look at the poke.
Krogunk flex on him.
Oh my god, Krogunk. I love Krogunk.
Just playing around with Empoleon. Here comes Empoleon using that synergy burst. Here comes the burst move, but I think Krogunk
Oh, he jumped over it.
and avoids it there, Vicky.
That's exactly what we're talking
It's because it's like, they're like, ah, Krogunk, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, why'd you pick that stupid little thing?
Up in the air, gonna knock Mr. Suzaki back though. Mr. Suzaki down 114 to 275. Empoleon with some more pressure right there.
Oh my gosh, all it needs is one more hit.
One health. Crossover. Here comes
Oh my gosh.
tables here, D1.
Oh my goodness, mixing up his
Whoa.
Matt Pat taking it over Mr. Suzaki.
The constant, consistent pressure by Matt Pat towards the second half of that round right there. Vicky able to get the victory, and Mr. Suzaki and Matt Pat go to a third round to decide this
The
game
taunt
here.
attack.
And did you see around the end how Krogunk extended his pouches on his cheeks to be able to float over the opponent to try to mix up his landing and confuse the opponent?
Yeah, he like floated in the air by like inhaling, you see that? Like it stalls in the air.
Mr. Suzaki and Krogunk.
What is that? Is that a buff? What is that? He just sits there and flexes. I'm assuming it must be a buff. The Krogunk's air movement is so freaking cool.
Meanwhile, Krogunk and that lit gonna miss with that support Pokemon attack, but here comes the synergy burst from Krogunk. Gonna try and get
All
some
right,
damage
how is
on
this?
Mr. Big
Oh my god. Oh, I was wondering what that even did, but we didn't get to see it.
41-113 advantage. Winner of this round wins the game. Empoleon and Matt Pat trying to fight back. No, Krogunk gonna break through.
Oh god.
40 health left for Empoleon.
I think it's a buff for one attack. That's what I think.
And the crossover by Mr. Suzaki. Stone cold killer. Matt Pat falling to Mr. Suzaki. Very impressive performance by Krogunk and Mr. Suzaki. And D1, how about Krogunk? Operated by Mr. Suzaki, able to leap into the air, crossover Empoleon at the end of that.
Literally one word, unpredictable. Mr. Suzaki going up against him right there on stage says, you're only going to get one chance to beat me, and unfortunately you lost. Never get to face me again.
Alistair's going to bat clean up for Matt Pat and Alistair. Going to be interesting to see if Alistair goes with that sweet move. Meanwhile, we have Mr. Hoshino. Who will Mr.
A
Hoshino
Z
go
move
with here?
aura?
So you have Alistair.
Yeah, it's
D1 at the top of this
a lot of the Pokemon. Well, the Pokemon that can Mega Evolve when they
facing off against one of the
when they use their burst attack.
Definitely might have some tricks up his sleeve as well. We actually
When they use their burst meter,
going with Suicune.
the Pokemon that can Mega Evolve, Mega Evolve. The ones that don't just get an aura around them.
We're going to go back to Gen 1 here for a
So like
throwdown.
Charizard will Mega
Charizard
Evolve.
against Pikachu at this point.
Pikachu will just get an
Lit
aura
gonna be
around it.
chose for that support Pokemon here, Vicky.
It does change their attacks though.
You're going to have Charizard controlled by Mr. Hoshino. Meanwhile, Alistair going with Pikachu.
And then at the end of your
One of those players
burst,
that's a little bit more well-rounded. Meanwhile, our first sort of power player
there is a
Charizard really likes to play mid-range, but you also have to take into consideration that he does fly as well, so that could be a way for him to mix up Pikachu. And
I'd
we
actually
saw
be
in the
really
last
shocked
round,
if
the same thing.
Pikachu with a nice juggle right there, gonna back off
If
Charizard.
Alistair
Let's go
loses.
ahead and shift phases at this point, connecting with a couple of projectiles here, and really what we've seen from Alistair D1 is a fine job of
'Cause
taking advantage of that field
Pikachu
phase.
has
Yeah,
a
and it looks like
pretty
Even afraid of the fire
good advantage over Charizard.
Charizard does have, here it is. Great
It's the reason
follow-up
that
by Alistair
he went
taking
with
that
Pikachu.
first round over Hoshino-san.
Pikachu and Alistair taking that round. If they can get this round, they'll go ahead and take that game here, Vicky.
And we saw all that pressure from Alistair because Pikachu in particular plays very close range and is incredibly fast. And when he's in mid-range, it's a little bit difficult for him to rack up all that extra damage. But we're not really seeing that too much right now. He's going to have to try to bring this back.
I remember, yeah, it's a decent grab damage. He gets another one.
Let's serve it up again right here, D1.
Yes, absolutely. Mr. Hoshino has that tech. Keep your eyes open.
Jeez.
Mr.
he got the counter. There it is.
Huge advantage over Alistair and that Pikachu. Let's see if Pikachu can bounce back. They're trying to get the cross.
He's gonna.
By Charizard. Charizard gonna knock back Pikachu. Charizard.
That was actually kind of perfect that he stalled in the air, and it's over. He took it. Wow, I didn't actually think he would.
Mr. Hoshino, unbelievable, able to keep Alistair at bay, connect on not one, not two, but three.
Honestly, look at his face.
This is out of control. Using the grabs to
friggin' my boy Charizard. Yeah, he did let him. What was I gonna say?
And it seemed like that for a little bit, that Alistair was gonna be able to maneuver himself around Mr. Hoshino.
Friggin' seismic toss.
Is coming to another grab from Mr. Hoshino. How is he going to avoid this?
Mr. Hoshino has Alistair seeing stars with all of these grabs right now. Charizard able to deal and try to get through a couple jump projectiles. Meanwhile, Pikachu connects with the counter. And Pikachu able to knock
The thing that I love is like Pikachu Libre. Whenever he hits somebody, it like physically hurts, like to listen to. That's why it's like one of my favorite characters to watch. I mean, kind of same thing with Machamp though, because Machamp, like, oh my god, Machamp's grabs and throws do so much damage. But he's very slow. Oh, they got the counter set up. Oh wow. Did you know one of the things about the Pokemon Amiibo is that in the data inside them, do you know what's on there? Their Pokedex number is actually in there, and I think maybe we know why now, because if there's a Pokemon game announced for Switch, it's definitely gonna use Amiibo. So,
We were talking starstruck, but my goodness, I was incredibly starstruck just by
there is that.
I can't believe how Alistair may feel right now.
And this is what since I got like one of the first edition of Pokkén Tournament, I got the Shadow Mewtwo card, which looks really cool, and it has a little Amiibo thing on the back of it.
Very impressive right there. They get their artwork, their awards. Give it up for Mr. Hoshino, Mr. Suzaki, Matt, Pat, Alistair, your champions of the 2017 Pokkén Tournament Deluxe Invitational. Stick around. We got the Arms Open Invitational coming later today. Give it up one more time for them.
Hey. Alright, I'm pretty sure that Yoshi is next. We're gonna get to see the new Yoshi game. I think that's what they said. How did they get the invite? I mean, Nintendo just picked they picked commentators who have history working with them with their games, and then they picked YouTube people that they've worked with before, and then some people who have fighting, who are well-known pro fighting game players from different fighting games. Obviously, him being the one who plays Pokkén the most.